circle because they've been.
What's over there behind that tree, huh? Throwing them nades.
As Ayala takes a knee, E-Arena in the meantime can start to march in from the south side. A nade will finish off Scarface, but Ayala now needs to be secured, and this is beautiful sweep across from E-Arena. Furia have committed to that north side, and there is now nothing stopping E-Arena taking the entirety of this ridgeline in a three-way engagement.
Yeah, this is great decision making. Instantly aggressing when they think they've got a moment to get the drop on them. Furia down to 3 players of Ayala, unfortunately falling in that head-to-head versus Scarface. That puts so much more pressure on this team. They've got to get him back up. They'll have a few seconds here to top his HP up. Thankfully, he's done so. But they've crunched so much space, so much map control away. Nowhere near as easy now, John.
They know Milu's position. With the nades, they've been able to push forwards. Ayala creeping up to the ridgeline as well. And E-Arena actually going to regress on their hold, not wanting to stay overextended or maybe move those vehicles in different ways, swap them out, something like that. But just like giving that ground there was an interesting decision, but they get it back very, very quickly. Furia don't try and push over the top on it. Still waiting for this one to get forced by the circle. You can see Chief will get moved. Igor as well has to leave his little ridge and step up probably towards that burnt out buggy. That's where he's pacing himself towards. Ayala cannot find an angle.
For love nor money right now. No chance to get a raw free peek onto them. Just looking to cast that first stone, open it up with an advantage. The first domino falling for either of these squads will be very detrimental. Obviously for E-Arena, that big benefit you have as well in the trade game. They've got 1 extra man in the squad. Takes a little bit more pressure off them, but they still need a clean fight. Pin from either side, it wouldn't really change much.
Next stage closes dead central on this, and no one really has the full inside track, but E-Arena have the most ability to move around. If Furia go down, Tiamba can start to move up the hill. That might give them a little opening door. Furia now moving much closer towards E-Arena, and the nades are going to start to cause problems for Mormon. The Molotov's there as well, but he has the smoke to cover his vision and hits the deck. Looks to get some healing. No knock found.
Shocked. I'm absolutely shocked he's still standing there. Stereo nades go out either side. It felt like 1 bullet away from him falling. Topped himself back up, like you say. He's quick with the meds. Furia debating where they really need to engage on this. Is it easier to try and wrap around onto Tiamba's side? Do they just have to hold in the middle, wait for the crunch to come towards them? They're going to go in the direction of Tiamba. Ayala, before maybe they were a little bit closer than they are, had the DBS primed. Scouting play as well. They're losing a lot of space from this peak up from E-Arena, starting to force them further back. It's getting scary out there.
Final zone closing as well now, Jackie. It's straight into the middle. Can't hang about now. No elims for E-Arena. So they would love to try and sweep a couple of these up. Over the top of the hill, they're looking to put a pressure onto Furia, but they fight back. Igor goes 1 for 1 on the trade, which is not great news for them. But where are Tiamba? Can they make a pass at this? Try and move in behind Furia. I think they might be going for it. They've heard this fight break out. They've seen the knocks come through, and the backlines from E-Arena getting a little bit false-footed as Tiamba make their play.
Tiamba, triple threat of nades thrown over the top. Erupting explosions towards Furia's angle after knowing they're weak. But they're still not overly committing. You're being hit from all sides as well. They're going slightly too far deep. That one looks good. Great chip damage onto Furia. Chief with a reply. Mormon's drop. Joker hits the headshot back onto him. It's a 1 for 1 stalemate. Tiamba still waiting.
Finally, a second knock, and now Furia on 1. Tiamba have read this nicely. Igor the last to go, and they wrap around, they roll it down. QZ wants to shut it out in the arena now. The last hurdle for Tiamba's back-to-back. 3 players versus 2. Joker off in the distance, but there's 1 in the smoke. Dealt with immediately. QZ relies on his teammates. He turns for a moment, but he knows they've got his back, and in a 1 versus 3, can he make it work? Mormon now bleeding out to the zone. E-Arena will fall in the face of Tiamba for a back-to-back chicken dinner. This is brilliant.
Talks of Tiamba looking timid in their group stage, but that's all changed now. as they terrify the lobby and turn up massively with not only one chicken dinner locked in, but a second following that. Back to back. Incredible start to the survival stage here.
Really brilliant opener coming through for a team that, as we were saying, there were a lot of criticisms levied at their play style. They only just about managed to get into the survival stage with a late in the day chicken dinner. But they did look much better during that chicken dinner, during those group stages. And this is exactly the sort of development you want to see. Able to go, I think it was 11 eliminations as well there, Jackie. It is a monumental start for them. Getting towards the top 6 just got a whole lot easier.
Yeah, dream start, man. That's what we're saying, right? We were looking at it even kind of early into that one, thinking, oh, they've done pretty well with the elims. It looks like they've got a good set of heads on their shoulders today. Way better for you when you not only get one chicken dinner, but 2 already locked in. Playing it smart. I was a little bit worried we're going to see some of those signs of them not willing to really engage even when they have a bit of an advantage. We saw that a few times in groups. It looks like they've recovered that.
Yeah, I mean, the instance right at the end there, where they saw one knock on either side, they said, you know what, now's as good as any. The zone's closing, we've got to go. They had the nades, a little bit off target with the nades. I think it's safe to say they didn't have a full read on the position of Furia, so overexpending a little bit of utility there. So still improvements to be made, but I think I can forgive them that. They were still able to crunch it behind, be the pneumatic press that crunched Furia and followed through straight on towards eArena, who, given the solid position that they had on that south side for so long, surprising that they weren't able to get many elims at all. A very minimal point scoring game for a team that plays second place.
Yeah, it is surprising. It is surprising. I think for eArena it's a bit scary as well, because obviously, you know, we historically had that one massive game in the group stage where we were thinking, damn, okay, they're looking absolutely sick. They're really playing confidently in the head-to-heads as well. The longer it's gone on, there's moments where you're thinking, when are they going to get that second wind again? Not necessarily from the tactical side, but more from just the willingness to actually show how good they are as individuals in terms of the gun skill. We know it's there, John. It's just got to rear its head once again. But today, so far, it's all about Tianba.
Yeah, I mean, for the players on side, they do need to start to step up, be a little bit more like Tianba. I think it's safe to say we're going to head down to the stage and we're going to catch up with some of the players.
Yes, we are. And who are we going to talk to other than Tianba and QZZ here? Back-to-back wins to start off the survival stage. What a result. And let's ask about that, right? Back-to-back wins. Obviously, in the group stage, you didn't have the easiest of time. So what was the focus for the team between the group stage coming into now this survival stage?
QZ 首先恭喜你们已经2连世纪了，非常优秀的一个发挥。当时你们小组赛的时候可能打得不算那么好，然后现在进了生存赛之后，明显就是状态调整过来了。能不能跟我们说你们当时调整的时候主要注重哪些方面呢？
其实我们没有做太多的调整。其实前2天其实大致上没什么问题，但是每个人的状态可能不是很好，然后。昨天调整了一些东西，然后大家状态都变好了一些。然后我的调整就是我加了个手机壳，因为我用那个手机老断触，但加了手机壳之后断触会变少很多。
Outside that, we didn't really make a lot of adjustments. I think that we were, in terms of strategy, I think we were absolutely fine. It's just that in the group stages, I think everyone's form was just a little lackluster. And then coming to the survival stage, I think we are now performing a lot better. I think everyone's form is just peaking right now. And in terms of adjustments, for me personally, what I adjusted was I added a case to my phone. And I think that really helped to reduce some of the kind of like not registering some of my key inputs, my touches. So I think that really helped as well.
More accurate at all. That makes a lot of sense. And going to the Rondo game, you guys came in from the south side of the river and played alongside the river for almost the whole game. What were the biggest threats to you guys for that first win?
当时你们第一张图的时候，你们相当于就是从那条河的南边，就是进圈的，然后而且你们相当于是我唯一之最站在那边，然后你们就一直沿着那条河的南边在那边打了一整场。当时一整场下来，你能不能跟我说一下最主要的一些威胁会是什么呢？
其实最主要的威胁是我们准备反清山上的一波，然后我们差点被右边的 KR 叉给溜了，然后但是我们当时顶住了那一波，然后那波可能是最具威胁的一波。
Well, I'll say the most dangerous point was when we were trying to clear a hill, and then I think TRX actually had the slip on us, and it was a very tough battle. I think it was a really dangerous moment for us, but we managed to hold on and we managed to fight back, and we managed to win that battle. And I think that was the single most, we almost got eliminated point.
All right, QZZ, amazing once again. Thank you very much. Thank you for the translations. That does it for us down here on the stage. Will Tiamba get another win on the day? Looking like it. It's crazy.
Tiamba doing their best impressions of Drake with that back-to-back, because this team is definitely showing up here at Survival Stage of PMWC at EWC 26. But don't forget, it is PMWC. There is a PMWC lucky spin currently going on within the game. Make sure you log in, do the spins, do all the fun stuff before it goes away, because we do have the Electron energy set, the Proton power set, and the stunning Alien Fusion grows out, which Max was telling me it ends up glowing on the dark. This was co-created with PvP creator Nana, and I want the Groza.
Same.
I want that Groza, Neptura. But talking about the game, this last game, Tiamba, oh my. Especially that ending too, the way that they ended up pushing to Furia and then just demolish E-Arena is what we want to see out of Tiamba, Max.
By the way, before we do get into the nitty-gritty analysis of the finishing of that game, the Rondo win, Tinlong Garden drop, they go to a Northern finish, they win that game. Here, they drop Yasnaya Poliana, they win a Western Coast finish. I don't know how they keep doing it, man. Their rotations are on a separate level here at PMWC 2026 as we check out the player stats here. And QZZ, Milu, oh my goodness, 4.5 average eliminations per game so far today, putting up the numbers. And I didn't predict them to make it because I was actually quite disappointed by them in their groups. And it's clearly working out for them, Niptro. Well done, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we still got a long couple of days ahead of us, but based on the last two games, I think we can really start to change our minds about them. They're being very, very consistent. What I really love is that they bided their time. They waited, right? Well, there go my notes.
What?
Because...
She's attacking me.
Yeah, I'm attacking him. No, because they were just sitting underneath this hill, right?
Yes.
Waiting for these two to get together, start fighting, and then push. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, that push on Furia, of course, the timing of that is great because Furia is at their absolute weakest, and also E-Arena are trying to get a revive back on their fallen comrade. But I wanted to focus very clearly on this replay on Milu and QZZ. The focus, the sheer determination at that moment, putting the focus on the same player at the same time. What an absolutely amazing fragging duo. And clearly they're the main reason so far they've been successful on this opening day of Survival Stage. Loving the synergy of those two guys in particular.
Loving that synergy, loving the action that they're currently putting on. 12 eliminations there for Tiamba, being able to come up with the win. Furia, this is a team that we've been wondering where have they been. They finally ended up showing up here in this game, Max, with those 7 eliminations, 12 points total.
Happy to see it, really. What a hold on Primorsk in particular. They were holding off Nongshim Red Force. I know Blank was very excited about their hold on to GOAT in particular, making a massive statement that hilltop is their hilltop for the rest of that game. So Furia, you know, a little bit topsy-turvy back in the group stage, but Niptro this time around, strong podium finish, which is what we love to see from that Brazilian squad.
No, I do like it. I like it a lot. The only thing I want to say, if I could just really nitpick here, is that they, again, yeah, they had a very strong mid game, right? Very strong, very proactive. I really enjoyed that. I was like, okay, yes, Furia, they're coming in strong. We also saw them move on to the RRQ and A7 fight really quickly with so much force. There was no backing, there was no coming back from that for RRQ. So very, very well done. But they kind of slowed down. They waited to that stage 9. I would have liked to see them be a little bit more proactive with EA. I know that they were, you know, intimidated by Tiamba there, that other third team rather being there, but I would have liked just a little bit more momentum coming through from them. Side note onto Tiamba, actually, speaking of momentum, Tiamba went from 0 to 100. Did you see that? When they realized that that fight was finally happening, they went from sitting behind a tree to full-on pushing like that. 10 out of 10, no notes.
It was very good. But I want to go back real quick to what you were saying about Furia in particular, slowing down a bit at the end. I don't want to criticize that too much. I think it was actually a good play for them to slow it down. The reason why, we knew that whichever team fights last, chances are they're going to get the win at the very end. Furia fighting E-Arena, they're like, we want to try and get rid of E-Arena, but if we fully commit to the fight and take even more knocks, eventually Tiamba's going to rock up on us, which is actually what happened, right? So I do get your point, but at that moment when all the 3 teams are just ready to go at a moment's notice, Furia, I think, made the most out of it, and this is a team that I did not expect to make on the podium, but you know what? A strong podium finish from Furia on a very hard circle for that squad, by the way. I think that's still a win.
Yeah, and on the opposite side for the Brazilian squads, you have Alpha 7 still not being able to do that well. Only putting points via placement in this last one because the eliminations just weren't there.
Yeah, elimination. I think it's a hard zone, though. It's a hard circle to really get eliminations. You've got so many.
Tiamba was able to do it.
Tiamba was able to do it. I think it's
and they don't land even close to that.
True. I think it's probably one of those things where it's like you get in there early, you're able to do something. If you avoid teams, then, you know, that eastern side was very, very busy. So, yeah, you can get a lot of elims if you're there. But I think there's just so many angles. What it's actually doing is intimidating teams into not taking those fights because there's so many angles. Those angles are completely covered, and so you're like, I can't make a move in this.
By the way, going back in this game, there was a very interesting moment for Tiamba, which really enabled them in the first place to be a contender for that chicken dinner, is they had all these teams over to the eastern side in the swamp. They're like, just let's get away from that position. It's not worth it. So I love seeing that they understand when a fight is just not worth taking. But you know what? Chicken dinners are definitely worth taking. 2 chicken dinners, 35 points. Tiamba making it happen on Rondo and the first Durangle. And you know what? With only 12 games to play here, if they don't pull an E-Arena, Neptura, top 6 is looking pretty good.
I mean, top 6 is looking very, very nice. The thing, though, we have to watch out for is it's a Group B all over again. It really is, because you've got that point sponge at the top. You got 45 points versus, what, 19 we saw there? Everybody could still get into top 6. Probably gonna still go that way by the end of today. We're probably gonna see the same sort of gaps being in that leaderboard. And so, yeah, we're looking at a very spicy survival stage if this keeps going from Tiamba.
At the beginning of the day, we're talking about Sony Story of the day, no sponge points. Guess what? Now Tiamba is like, we are here. We're going to be sponging up all those points. We still have a lot more survival stage coming up. But before we go into the next game, we're going to be sending it over to Kalaris in blank.
Yeah, you know, I'd really like to talk about all the other teams here in the survival stage. I'd really not like to overlap with what you guys are saying. But it's all about Tiamba. How are we supposed to ignore what they've been able to do? I think, though, if we really kind of step back and look at those 2 victories they got, though, here, Blank, winning in the face of adversity is what has made Tiamba a world-class team. On Rondo, on the Riverside, being able to hold that down as long as they did, and then on Erangel, sending it from the swamp location, and the perfect timing, very, very important as well.
You are a stage heavy hitter, aren't you? Really? You're coming out here swinging with some hard facts, some hard knowledge. I like it. But it is great. The adversity has been a big thing for them, but they've been decisive, clean on a lot of their pushes. I think even just not last game alone, it's nice to see QZ with a bit of teamwork going on. Milu was bouncing off him so well. It's also crazy. I think one of the things that I like about PL teams is they will use the DBS at mega distance.
Yes.
And it works.
I will say as well, I can pull the curtain back a little bit as I've just interviewed QZZ. Just before the interview, actually just after that win, you saw as they got up and they were elated, high-fiving and everything like that. He showed me that he hurt his hand. He hurt his hand from the high five alone. So, yes, they were very, very happy.
It's a strong high five right there.
That's a very strong high five.
I bet he whacks that fire button really hard, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's nice to see, again, for QZZ, he came from PMI, FMVP there as well with 39 eliminations, over 7,000 damage. Crazy result from him. It's good to see the rest of Tiamba stepping up, though, because there is so much conversation around QZ and how good he is as a player, but I think it's mainly what we're looking at right now with the rest of the team, who are all rallying around him. It's easy enough to be that front man, but you have to have people who are following you into that battle.
Well, as Maximum just mentioned on the desk as well, Milu was kind of the determining factor in that first game. Likewise, when you look at the damage output and the damage numbers for that second game, it was, of course, QZZ that was able to kind of take the reins and really run with it. But it wasn't just the timings at which they were able to move. Again, it's the opportunistic gameplay, right? If you take that position away from AGAL in this Erangel game and find yourself bogged down in a fight, if Ulf wants to kind of continue on a little bit of that aggression, you're suddenly going to be taken out. But they were able to shore up their defenses so well after taking out AGAL. I am super impressed by what we've just seen in these first two games.
It's definitely astonishing, and I think Fury is almost a little bit of a other side of the card, right, for that. They were very, very resilient all the way through, even from early on in the game to where they faced off against GOAT team. There they were able to almost dominate just by LOS control, keeping themselves on the left-hand side towards the coast, where GOAT was struggling because eventually they were going to start being spotted out by teams off in the distance, which did happen. And Igor's, man, he was playing phenomenally well all the way up to the end. But Tiamba, just going for that instantaneous push. Now, I really do feel we had another weird one, though, with E-Arena. They had a 4-man on that south side. I think there was just a bit of a stop-starting maneuver from them there, and they weren't able to fully control it. It felt like the fight actually came down to Furia and Tiamba to really close it out.
I have my concerns with E-Arena.
Yes, so do I.
Because the thing is you were coming into that late-game scenario and you've got 0 rear limbs. And then I'm thinking to myself, actually, okay, from this position they could win, even though they've got 0 limbs. But then kind of flub it in some of these moments. Yes, we had the record-breaking game from the group stage by them, but outside of that, it has not looked fantastic. So they need to really kind of change some things up here throughout the survival stage. Thank you very much, Blank, for joining us. It is time to head over to the casters once again for another game on the grassy pastures of Erangel.
Oh, absolutely, it's time. Let's head on in. Are we going to get another hot drop in Pachinki? Is it going to be a circle that, keeps at least 60% of its area inside of the main landmass? Well, only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to come out on top of this one, because Tiamba has taken the first 2. Those are scratched off the card, and we have to get into the rest of it as fast as possible. He's locked and loaded, inches from his screen, focused as anything.
Yeah, assessing the situation early, getting themselves nice and ready for another outing. We have these little establishing shots to some of our squads here, AGAL, Tiamba. A few teams have been bringing the heat. Nonchalant Red Force as well, looking pretty good out there in some of the moments of play. Alpha 7, it's been a bumpy ride. Topsy-turvy with some of the results we've seen. Looks really good for Fury as well, John, right? Obviously, that's kind of the keynote we were hitting down there on the stage. Some of the conversations we've had, they've been pulling out the stops. Getting fired up for Alula. Nice, good celebration.
Uh-oh, he's knocked his headrest off. That's going to be...
Doesn't need it.
A comfort issue. Yeah, to be fair, if you land forward, you're fine. It's only when you're out of the game that you're leaning back in your chair. Or at least I hope it is. We'll have to wait and see. Everyone just getting ready. Tapping around, playing on that spawn island, waiting for the plane to take to the skies. But I think it's coming through fairly soon. As the lights start to change, the music gains some tempo. And we are gunning for another game here on Erangel. The plane path last time was fairly kind. It was fairly chilled out, a lot of area accessible, no real impetus to go for vehicle hot drops to try and challenge on. This time around, Jackie, the plane path is a little bit more west leaning, so maybe there is some more pressure on things, but are we going to see the hot drop in Pachinki? I just really don't like hot drops in general. I'm generally kind of against them. Maybe you can excuse it for the first game, maybe even the first 2 within a new lobby, but on a 12-match set, I think you just got to cut your losses. If you're not able to win it out cleanly, either team should be stepping away from this one.
Yeah, I think there's a right time, right place for it. And honestly, in my mind right now, this could be one of the opportunities for it. If we start doing it towards the end of the day and we get to the next set of 3 games on, it might be too far gone. You make a mistake there, it could be cooked instantly. You leave yourself in a sort of safety net to try to build back in. If I was going to run that risk, this is the lobby I'd do it in. Right here, right now, come out, pull out some stops. If you could potentially target one of our top teams, especially looking at Tiamba, right, with how they're building themselves, such an early narrative, shut them down, stop them from accumulating point after point, at least for one game. Could be a door open for you and one closed for them. We'll see. Maybe it's more respectful than I'm thinking.
I feel like targeting the top team themselves, maybe not maybe not super useful here in the survival stage. That's much more a final strategy because you're aiming for top 6, right?
Doesn't matter, John. You've got to come for the king. You find the biggest man. You shut him down. You get respect for everyone else in the lobby.
Well, we did just see an elimination go through. I believe that was Tiamba actually over towards E-Arena, who have lost one. We've also got the Zaki drop coming through from Dopeness, which is going to leave Geeke alone in Pachinki. So we don't get that hot drop. Over on the east side is where our circle will go. And I'm happy to say it's quite a lot of land in this one.
Yeah, more reasonable. Far more reasonable here, what we've got out of this. Some of the games we've had, it's been a super bumpy ride for our teams, and we've seen some great PUBG Mobile mechanically off the back of rotation, at least map geometry-wise, how they understand it. It gets a lot more out of these teams. The brains have to be switched off. This, though, should be better for the lobby in general.
Slightly worried about down on the south side near Novo with Yangon Galacticos and AGAL both dropping in the area. AGAL trying to grab the vehicles. Imagine trying to get across the bridge as fast as possible. The question is, what sort of ammunition does Smile have to play with? Can he catch someone on the cross? Looks for the iron sight spray down with the AKM. There is still more on the menu. There's 2 players in the monster truck try and find their way through. Will they sneak on in? It looks like it's not quite connecting on the spray. Some damage there, but the ammo's starting to draw low, and they don't have the scopes to really get the distance on this one. Jackie, I think AGAL just make out like bandits on this.
Yeah, get out of there, get away. Only the iron sight, no scope attached for max precision, so he can't get it done even when he throws the clip in the AK. Just a spray from far away, John. No one from AGAL hitting the DCK. It's not even how you spell deck at this point. It's one of those days, John.
No, well, just got to throw an E in there.
That would help.
And it would help, but hasn't helped E-Arena on this drop, unfortunately, throwing an E on the front of Arena. Tiamba were able to get that. They were the team to take them down. Tiamba dropping around that sort of cube compound area, east side of crates, and, well, closer towards the bridges out to the east of South George, and they've rotated now all the way over the north towards Yasnaya, given the circle. Smart, I like it, no notes. Furia out on the west side, fairly uncontested, and we're firmly into the looting phase now.
Been getting louder and louder game after game as well. Looks like that's Yangon Galacticos' fans and Alpha 7 in unison. They've been stationed in a similar area of the stage. There's a lot of excitement coming from over there, getting fired up. The drums being played. You any good at the drums, John?
I have grade 4 drums, which is a qualification in the United Kingdom for our international viewers.
Bloody hell.
It's mediocre at best.
Ah, I see.
You know, Kalaris is a phenomenal drummer.
Is he?
Yeah, he's really good.
Okay,
that's not even a joke. He's very good at drumming.
We'll get him in. We'll send him over to Alpha 7. We'll see if he can do some drumming.
Absolutely. Get him on the paradiddle.
Yeah, we'll patch that one through. We'll get James on the move during the game, don't worry.
Alola looking to drum themselves up a chance in towards those finals. In second place, they've been doing a fine job of it so far, with the points they've been able to accrue. Obviously a deep run into that first match. Really notable performance coming through from them. Maybe a little bit too slow in terms of dealing with Tiamba down on that south side of them, but they're still up on 19 points. They're still in the top 6 for the time being, as close as it is. However, in Primorsk right now, there's a long road ahead of them to try and make their way in.
Yeah, quicker early moves for some. Others using the availability of a longer, safer rotate. Obviously, this is more the consistent sort of play that we prefer to see from squads like GOAT and Yangon with how they want to approach it. Something you'll all want to see, though, of course, are the amazing weapon skins that we've got going on here with the event that's currently occurring. That Ninetales Fury Org, a beautiful bit of kit, John. You get those variants as it evolves when you use it. Really cool stuff.
A powerful beast, and you want to lock it inside you. You want to keep it and elevate yourselves to find those various levels of different tails. Moving on into your games on PUBG Mobile. Furia looking to add another tail to their story in these survival stages. 5 teams, well, 5th place rather, on the tables right now. 16 points, very much in the thick of it, as we said, with the points being fairly level when you exclude Tiamba from the top side. Furia looked fairly dynamic in that last match. and they took agency into their own hands, which I like to see, I really do. So for them on the southwest side, hopefully they can break through, play towards this mansion open area west of prison, this shelter positions as well. A lot of open ground, a lot of rolling hills in this zone. So you need to make sure you get your little patch under control.
Furia roaming. RRQ potentially going to be in front of their path as well, so could be a chance for a couple pot shots. There's an overextend on the scout, pulls back quickly enough to get behind them. Do they clash though?
They're being fairly civil right now, Jackie, but getting across this road is when they're going to be completely open to each other. But it looks like, given that most of the players here are in their own vehicles, unlikely you're going to see that second seat spray down. But GenForce, he's on their tail. I mean, fair enough, you follow them a little bit, try and get some information. In the meantime, Geeky run into Ulf. This is on the route out from Pachinki from that southwest side, and Geeky have lost one. Aaron on the upstairs looks for more, swaps to the weapon, does a lot of work around the door frame, but the shotgun still ringing in his ears. One round in the M4 is not quite enough, but Ulf have lost one on the flip side as well across the way. Scarface has taken a tumble, and Geeky are giving at least as good as they get, if not better.
Yeah, it would have been hellish for them as well, right? Great game one, at least keeping themselves in an elevated position in the points and the placements. Going into game two, nowhere near as clean. If they had an uncomfortable start here, lost their players, limped away, would have been brutal. Instead, the egg is on the face of Ulf, as it will only be a duo that remains.
They're going to have to play in positions that generally are going to need a lot more firepower to hold down those those more open areas, the dips around that zone, maybe some of the compounds, the buildings in that area. So you have to try and find something, keep this one going as the zone coming on through. For the next pop for our stage 2 zone. Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be difficult? It's very firmly on the south edge there, Jackie, but it keeps a lot of land in. We're moving away from Yasnaya Fields. We're moving down towards the farm area, the positions east of Potato Hill, and those shelter positions out on the east side, I think are going to cause a lot of problems here, because we've got so many teams on the northeast edge. RRQ are already posted up around that area. It looks like they are retreating a bit, though, but a lot of teams are going to be trying to move in from this northeast side, and it's going to get messy. It's going to.
That's a John Allen guarantee.
I don't joke about mess.
You can trust those. Man, it's been a bit bumpy as well for a squad like 721 GS, right? See their POV here. They had a few games back during the group stage where they were able to sort of harass other teams, still good elims, and have their head on a swivel. I was thinking maybe they'd be able to elevate themselves in a bit of a generally considered weaker lobby where there's opportunities to rise to the occasion. Our top team certainly have. For them, still down towards the bottom side of the pack in 12th place right now. Got to give us a little bit more if they want to keep themselves in it. Wrap over from Tianba as well. They're going to be on the move down. Can it be the free Pete's already eating good today? 47 points in this game. So far ahead compared to the next close squad, which is that tied second podium position between Alula and Goat. So they're really coming out to play.
It was 108 points was the record set by Vitality in a single day.
Yep.
And I feel like I brought that up maybe slightly too early in the day, but if you're on 45 points in 2 matches, simple multiplication will tell you that you're going to get there, right? You would need a little bit more on this game, it's safe to say, but still, like you said, in the position in the northeast side, they're fairly isolated. They can maybe chill out a little bit. I thought it was going to be the northeast side. Was going to be a little bit messy, but that seems to have rotated down and split around the prison. Instead, the positions to the north of Milta are going to be much more chock-a-block, with our players moving out the wolves from Milta past Kiwum DRX, who did actually rotate over the water into Milta, which was quite interesting. They were able to jump on in and force the teams in the area out wide. AGAL, who went across that bridge early on, of course, going to that Milta Power area. They went out all the way to the east, and they have now slung into a pretty solid position. But it was Kiwum DRX who were the team to sort of divert them on that path.
I think for KRX as well, right? This is sort of the middle portion of the day where you're thinking, okay, guys, got to lock in a little bit here. Get a bit more energy, some wind back under the sails. If they want to push more. Locked in last place right now in the overall standings. Not the dream whatsoever. We'll see as the zone comes in as well if there's going to be any benefit here, if it pulls up more so towards that north side. No. All right, not too bad in terms of the positioning for some of our more central squads as well. Non-Shin Red Force once again got themselves set up early. There's only Dopeness that were in amongst the set of 2 players from either side. Ulf near there, Fury instantly rotating off the confirmation of the zone, and Tiamba pushing down as well.
From that east side, look how many teams are moving around that Ulf position. Dopeness just about snaking their way over the top of this one. Remember, Ulf only on 2 players, so really can't do too much to stop this. They're just going to have to hope that they can win a fight. In the meantime, on the southeast edge, it looks like Kiwoom DRX having a tough time of things against Alpha 7, as 2 of them have already gone down. And there's really not much more for them to do here. Hoxie wants to try and hold his nerve in the face of Alpha 7, but they haven't lost a player yet, and they're not about to start now. Carrillo able to find the final shot, and there's a burn down on the last player for the South Korean side.
I think that's by far the cleanest take we've seen of a compound from Alpha 7 today. They get that one done, John, but it doesn't end. They've effectively rung that proverbial dinner bell that's baited over RRQ. So for Alpha 7, they'll have to keep on fighting. Fury up, pushing over as well with AGAL in their line of sight. Height to play with, so at least advantage from that. Liu has limited meds as well. He's going to be able to top himself back up. Fein wall of smoke between them. Good bit of open distance. So if that peels off, Ayala's usually clean for these. Going to somewhat peek out towards the road. Just assess the situation, see if there's room for a couple quick shots.
I feel like they're going to be okay for the time being, but with Wolves moving in from the east side, that could potentially force Furia to crunch in and lose influence. But are the Wolves going to stop there, or are they going to try and keep going a little bit deeper into the zone? I feel like they're going to be more of a problem for AGAL on this situation. And indeed, they do head further and further west, getting out of dodge. So Furia can continue their presence. And the Wolves actually managed to get through fairly securely. They are only playing as 3, but doing okay, I think it's safe to say. And right on top of the final player from Dopeness as well, to try and make your way into the center of the zone. I'm surprised that the Wolves have gotten as far as they have here, Jackie, because it was a kind of crazy thread through all of this. It was probably helped by the fact that AGAL and Furia were both looking at each other, were a little bit isolated away on that fight, so they just moved over the north side of the ridges that sat there to get into the spot. Good read.
It could be a good reposition for Alpha 7 as well. Last time we saw them, of course, they had that great injection back over towards KRX, cleaned up on the compound. Then they were briefly met by IRQ that bailed out on that one. Alpha 7 chasing down Yangon, at least one of their players. They're going to get away. Zone crunching further in again as well. Dead center set up right now from Non-Shin Red Force. Haven't had to move or fight for anything in quite some time.
And they got 4 of their players alive as well. This is pretty decent news for Tiamba, although that less so. They have taken a knock onto QZZ on that eastern side with RRQ bearing down upon them. In the meantime, Furia and AGAL starting to come to the forefront of the fighting. As there's 1, there's 2 knocks as well. A flush coming through from Igors. And the nades can't quite repel them, can't quite rebuff them in time. And Maple trying to stand against an onslaught from Furia. This is tough stuff. XEZ also feeling the brunt of pressure. I think that might be an off angle coming through from Yangon Galacticos. And what can you do? A nade over the back does tag, but doesn't quite get a flush or another knock.
Yeah, just a bit of chip damage. Not enough to punish him with. Chief going to step back up with one of his own as well. Dashes it onto AGAL. That's more what you're looking for. Now they can compress in and try and collapse upon the squad. AGAL going down swiftly as they will lose out. Removed from the equation here as Furia are still standing.